All right, we're super, super excited about our next guest. She's been on our program before, and for some reason, she decided to come back. Her latest her latest hit, "My Head and My Heart," I just had a great run getting into the top 15. We're super excited about that bop this summer. You also know her for Kings and Queens. Please welcome to the program, Ava Max. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me again.
Oh, we love
Listen,
you.
I gotta tell you something. We said it when we were not recording, but Not Your Barbie Girl is such an anthem because when it came out the first time, I was like, I want to be a Barbie girl, but I was like Italian and Russian, like curvy, and it was not a Barbie at all. And then now hearing it now, and I'm not your Barbie girl, and taking back like all the feminism that is that song now, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I remember hearing it as a kid too, and I'm like, this is cool. And then when I got older, I'm like, did I really sing those lyrics? And then I changed it, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's so hot. I think My Head and My Heart is also hot.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Like you just keep putting out hits.
Thank you. Y'all are way too sweet to me, but I love making dance music, and I have another one coming soon that I haven't really announced yet, and it's exciting. I just can't wait for people to hear more of it.
Are we going to be playing it on Channel Q? That's the question.
I hope so. I mean, you will basically get stronger listening to this song. That's what it's about. It's like becoming stronger, and like I'm not gonna say anymore, but I'm really excited about it.
I love that. I feel like that's such a good bob to come out of the pandemic too, because I think that so many people have struggled with their mental health and have struggled with just trying to refigure out how to get back into life. One thing we're excited about though is Pride. We have Pride 365 days a year, and you're so much a part of that. But we're looking forward to going in person to Prides again. We hope to see you on stage.
Oh my God.
What does Pride mean to you?
Pride means being yourself and not conforming into anything, our world wants us to conform to. It's about what you want to be and doing it with pride and love and passion and also influencing people around you to be who they want to be.
Oh, why do you think it is, important for other people outside of the community to support those in the LGBTQ plus community? Maybe they might not feel like it directly impacts them. Why would you tell them that's not right? Because
I think the support is important throughout every community for this to even like, when we hear things like, oh, like some places where they don't have legal gay marriage, that blows my mind. That feels like we're in the 1800s. Like what is that? It's 2021, and I think people need to come together once and for all and make this. It is normal. It needs to be more said out loud and every day, and it just blows my mind that when you hear these things, right? Like in some states, it's not legal. You're like, am I living in 1888 or something like that? Like, so I think that is why we need to continue supporting because we have a lot of work to do still.
For people that are just tuning in that maybe really want to be an ally to the community, but maybe don't have music that they can share or a platform with that provides a larger message, what would you suggest people to do to be a better ally to our community?
Really just talk to people around you and spread the word. Really, it's all spread like word by word. Like I think it's super important, like in your community, family and friends, because it does start at home, with like also older generations. Like it's important.
Yeah.
Having those conversations with mom and dad and grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, like, hey guys, love is love. It's just love. So just have love for love, if that makes sense.
No, you have no idea. Like I'm sure you've experienced this, but how powerful that can be to an older person. Just simply saying something to them that maybe they haven't heard from somebody they loved before can really change. Speaking of someone you love, your fans love you. I know you love your fans.
I do love them.
To any of your fans listening right now, to any of our listeners listening here on Channel Q, who might be struggling to come out as whoever they are, what message might you have for them?
To anyone really who is struggling to come out in any way, I think the best thing to do is be fearless and know that you're going to be judged anyway. So you might as well be who you are.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like, some of these answers seem so obvious to us, and questions that you're like, yeah, of course, we talk about it all the time. We're an LGBTQ station. You're an incredible ally. But a lot of people don't know. And I think particularly when in the comedy world or when you're trying to relate and make jokes, but why is it important to not tolerate anti-LGBTQ jokes or statements expressed when people are around you?
That is super important, because even growing up, I would hear certain things and that I would never repeat because it's just so horrible. It's like, why make jokes on something like that? Like we're not making straight jokes. So I think that is super important to kind of like weigh in on. And I know some people think, we're getting too sensitive, but we're not. It's important to make this the new normal. It's important to say, hey, this is the new normal and there's no way around it, because love is love. And I think that's super, super important to just continue reiterating.
I think that's really just astute of you, actually, to reference it that. And I actually have not heard somebody frame it that way, to say that we're not being overly sensitive. This is now the new normal. This is now the standard, the benchmark from which we grow, as opposed to trying to like strip things away and say we can't be funny anymore. I really like that approach. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, because sometimes people get so sensitive, they say, right? But it's not sensitive. It's the new normal.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, why is it so important? You talked a little bit about representation, but representation in music, on radio and other media. Lil Nas X is doing something right now.
Yes.
Listen, this guy, I mean, I interviewed him a couple years ago at the American Music Awards, and he was just kind of popping then. Obviously, he had his first major hit, but he hadn't really expressed himself this way yet. And I wouldn't have imagined this 5 or 10 years ago. And yet the world is in love with him. Why is that representation so important?
Because he's being fearless. He's doing what a lot of people are scared to do, just be himself, which is so crazy to me. Like, how is it scary to be yourself? I mean, I feel like that right there, that's why Little Nas X is so amazing and also hugely successful, because people are looking up to him, and even secretly too, some people, I'm sure, like they maybe their parents don't want them to listen, but they love him so much that he represents something that's freeing in our souls. Even me, when I see him, I'm like, man, he makes me feel like I want to be even more free and show myself even more, because I feel like he represents so much confidence, and that right there, it makes you want to do anything. You know?
And there are probably also musicians, artists in the industry, in the world of hip hop, who are looking at him, who might be a little bit jealous that he was able to do what they were afraid to do.
Yeah,
exactly. He is I love him. He's fearless. He's awesome.
But I think it goes back to even your song, Not Your Barbie Girl. I think that we've had this messaging for so many years to be this way, act this way. And if you were being authentic to yourselves, it wasn't appreciated because we were being told how to look, how to speak, what was good, what was bad. And so it's so nice, even to your credit, that you came out with that song, redid that. I want to know, how have queer and LGBTQ people in your life influenced you?
Well, I feel like I'm very inspired by like drag queens, and I feel like I'm super inspired by that world, obviously, because I love taking to the next like level. I love like drama and theatrics, and I love that, and that also shows your personality. And I love like getting into different characters, and so that way it has inspired me so much. And I think just in general, like just to do what I want to do.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I can't even tell you how many people we've talked to I've been here for about a year and a half now. How many artists we ask them who inspires you, and the answer time after time after time is drag queens.
Drag queens.
Like, no joke. Not male, female,
Wait,
doesn't
really?
matter. Yes.
Oh my God,
all
what?
the time.
We just talked to Sam Fisher recently, who huge hit with Demi Lovato, their big collab, and his response was like, drag queens. I looked at drag queens; they're so inspirational. They're just incredible.
Seriously, though, yeah, and they
really are.
They're the epitome of fearless. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and they're smart. They make their costumes. They do their makeup. They do they're smart. They're creative. And I love that.
Bamini is incredible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I look at the makeup and I'm just like, I want that.